and today I will read the Gospel from chapter 16, okay? About I got the Gospel in Portuguese, sorry. The chapter is right, 16. 16. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. Item 8, topic 8. I don't will talk so much out of this text, okay? The inequality of riches. The inequality of riches. This is a matter that had in world so much motive to talk about and sometimes fight in great times, in almost ways this transformed in fight. But is a text so good explained, and I will take this text open, okay? This live will be open. The inequality of riches. The inequality of riches is one of those problems one tries in vain to resolve if one considers only the present life. This is the problem. People don't want sometimes believe in more time to one life. One life had centuries of parties. The first question that presents itself is, why are all humans not equally wealthy? They are not equally wealthy for one very simple reason. They are not equally intelligent, active, and industrious enough to acquire wealth, or moderate and foresightful enough to preserve it. Let me see something. The pronouns of wealthy or wealthy. Wealthy, I think, is other thing. Health. Wealth. Health and wealth is this. Wealth. So, right. They are not equally wealthy for one very simple reason. They are not equally intelligent, active, and industrious enough to acquire wealth, or moderate and foresightful enough to preserve it. Furthermore, it's a mathematically demonstrated fact that if wealth were divided equally, it would give each person a minimal and insufficient portions. That if such division were carried out, the equilibrium would soon be sheltered due to the diversity in character and aptitudes. That if the division were possible and lasting, with each person having only enough to live on, it would be the end of all the great endeavors that contribute to the progress and well-being of humankind. That if it provided each person with what is necessary, there would no longer to be stimulus that compels humans to great discoveries and worthwhile enterprises. If God concentrates wealth in certain areas, it's because from there it expands in sufficient quantities according to the necessities. In accepting this fact, one might ask why God grants wealth to persons who are incapable of making it fruitful for the good of all. This is yet another proof of God's wisdom and goodness. By giving humans free will, God wanted them to reach the point where, through their own experience, they could distinguish between good and evil, and that the practice of the good be the result of their own efforts and will. Humans must not be fatalistically led either to good or evil, or they would be nothing more than passive and irresponsible animal-like instruments. Wealth is a means of testing them morally. But since it's simultaneously a powerful means of inducting progress, God doesn't wish for it to remain unproductive for long, and thus moves it around incessantly. All persons will possess it at one time or another in order to try their hand at it and to test the use they make of it. However, since it's psychically impossible for all to possess it at the same time, and moreover, let me see other. And moreover, if all did possess it, no one would work and the improvement of the planet would be compromised. Each individual possesses it in turn. The one who does not possess it today has either had it already or will have it in the future life. And the one who possesses it now might not have it tomorrow. There are both the rich and the poor, because since God is just, each must work in turn. Poverty is for some a test of patience and resignation. Wealth is for others a test of charity and self-denial. The lamentable use that some persons make of their wealth and the ignoble passions that greed provokes and rightly deplorable. And one might ask if God is really just in giving it to such persons. It's certain that if humans had only one life to live, nothing would justify such a division of earthly wealth. However, if in instead of limiting our vision to the present life, we would consider the whole sequence of lives. We would see that everything balances out justly. Hence, the poor no longer have reason to accuse providence or to envy the rich, and the rich no longer have any reason to gloat over what they possess. If they abuse it, it's not with decrease or sumptuary loss that loss that wrongs will be righted. Loss can temporarily change one on the outside, but they cannot change one's heart. That is why these laws have a temporary duration and are always followed by a reaction, even more unrestrained. The source of the evil resides in selfishness and pride. Selfishness and pride. If I am selfishness and pride, I don't will other in progress. I don't will see other gain money. I don't will see happiness to other. It's not a different color, it's not a different language, it's not a different religion that makes war, that makes discussion, that makes fight. It's not this. It's only selfishness and pride. Because inside a body have a soul that don't have color, don't have religion, and don't have land, and don't pertain to, I said color, I said religion, I said men of women. The soul is unique, the soul is neutral. But when we are inside a body representative, the soul makes confusion. The day men and women start to think how a soul, various problems will be so big. The size will maybe disappear. This will disappear, the difference will disappear. The source of the evil resides in selfishness and pride. Abuses of every kind will cease by themselves when humankind rules itself according to the law of charity. This is the two sides, selfishness and pride and charity. What side you choose? The side you choose will represent peace or fight. Is this? We must fight against our selfishness and pride. God bless all. Until the next. This life I will take open. I will let open this life, okay? Thank you, your presence.